Hi guys, it's Ayshxo here again. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time since I last spoke to you. It's around 9 o'clock at night and I probably got home from work about an hour ago, and because this is my busy time of the year, lots of reporting, and I'm still feeling a bit energized, so rather than tired, which usually is the case around this time of the year. So I thought, why not come on and speak to you guys. So where have I been? I've been here. I haven't been anywhere else, but for a good 4 or 5 months, well, from about the last time I spoke to you guys till about mid-April, basically lost my knitting mojo. No reason other than just wasn't in the mood. I don't know what it was, but I would knit a few lines here or there, but otherwise I wouldn't be knitting at all. Fortunately, the knitting mojo is back. So that's why I'm coming to speak to you guys. Well, it's taken me another 2 months to come and speak to you guys. But I've got a lot to share with what I've been doing, like like a retreat and yarn festival and so on. And I've got a few finished objects. I haven't got all of them. I'll just split them up with the next video. And then I've got lots and lots and lots of yarn stash enhancement. So let's start. How will I do this? I'll talk about the wool gathering retreat first. So the wool gathering retreat happens in the first week of May, and it's run by the lovely Karen, and you can catch her on Ravelry and Instagram as Wool Gathering, or Wool Gathering Australia, or Wool Gathering Oz. And this was the second year, and it was, if not better, it was just as good, if not better than the first. Really enjoyed myself. I stayed at a house with some yarny friends that I made last year, so that was equally, it was just so much better than being in a hotel room at the end of each night on your own. So it was just lovely to share my time with them, and there was lots of laughs, and they were just cool people. What can I say? So Natalie, Kylie and Joe, just cool people. Loved it. Love you guys. Can't wait for next year. Hopefully we'll all get in. Yeah, so the wool gathering retreat starts on Thursday and ends on a Sunday. So Thursday afternoon, and we all say our goodbyes around lunchtime on Sunday. And I'm thinking I really should do this quickly, shouldn't I? So we have registration, and we have, I think we had dinner and just some presentations with getting to know who all the teachers were, which was fantastic. This year we had an edition of Libby Johnson. If you're not familiar with her, she is Turtle Myrtle on YouTube and Turtle Myrtle Photos on Instagram. I'm not sure, can't remember what she's on Ravelry, but I'll put all the links in the page so you can see all the people that I speak about. So yeah, the first day was a retreat, the registration. We got lovely bags, and I'll go through what we got in the bags. So we got a cute pin, a wool gathering pin, but that's already on another bag. And this is the retreat bag that we got with Wool Gathering 2018 on there. And then we got some free patterns, and I can't show you them because I've got the codes on them, but there was a pattern called Glen Finn, which is a cow, which I completed and already gave away, but I'm going to make another one so you'll see that. So we got just a shade card from White Gum Wool, which is cool to see all the different colours and the different types of yarn. And then, and I love White Gum Wool. And we got some yarn. So the first one is from Circus Tonic, and this is a Tandy Polworth 4-ply. Now Tandy was a farm that we stayed at, and Tandy, the farm there, they're the ones who first bred. They basically, I don't know, do you say first bred, invented the Polworth sheep. So so this is a 4-ply Polworth, and Another one, this has come apart. This is from We Love Knitting. I got to meet her, I've forgotten her name, but just a gorgeous girl, and I got that. So not everybody had the same thing. So it's, if other people have shown, hopefully they've shown what they got. This is White Gum Wool from White Gum Wool. And if you're wondering what I'm going to do with all these, this I think is Adagio Mills. If you're wondering what I'm going to do with all these, I'm actually going to make a Vertices shawl by Stephen West, and I'm going to use the yarn from last year as well. This is Tandy wool. It's another 4-ply. This is an 8-ply by Adagio. It's so soft. This one is 100% alpaca, and it's just, I love it. I didn't think I'd like alpaca, but that one's beautiful. And I did get another yarn sample from Oyster Yarns from the lovely girls at the Pearl Box, but I'm already started using it, so you can see that when in a project as well. And then we got some bits and bobs. We got okay, it's gone. So from Inheritance Patchwork, we got a beeswax wrap. I haven't used it because I wanted to show you guys. And then, it's never ending. I think I might have used some of this stuff. We got a cool Notions bag. We got some really cute stitch markers, and it has a sheep marker as well from Three Mums Yarn. I'm not used to filming at night. This is really weird. And what else did we get? We got this cool thing which I've got to put in my Notions pouch, and this is from the Littlest Stitch, and it's a stitch conversion chart from UK to US as well. Yeah, so yeah, that was really cool. That's really smart, and I'm going to put that in the Notions pouch and continue, you know, just so that I've got it on hand. I thought that was a really great idea. So that's all the goodies that I got as part, like what everybody else got in the retreat. Oh, and I almost forgot. We also got a full skein of yarn, and it was a collaboration between Great Ocean Road Woolen Mills as well as Tandy. And for all the retreat goers, we had a questionnaire about what sort of yarn would you like, and we had like multiple choice about colour, thickness, fibre type and so on, and obviously majority ruled, and they came up with this yarn. Now I've already made a cowl with this, and this is my leftover, and I'm going to make another cowl with this one. It's beautifully soft. It's, is it 50-50? Of course I can't read. No, it's 80% Polworth and 20% Suri alpaca, and that's the yarn there. It's called Eva, and it's beautifully soft, just wonderfully soft, and can't wait to make myself a cowl with that one as well. So that was in our goodie bag. And then on Friday we had a presentation from a charity group called The School Project, and everybody donated some stationery towards that, which was, and I think she gathered a lot. I know I loved going shopping to donate some stationery, and because I kept on thinking, well, I can donate money, but I like to buy stationery, so I was in my element. I didn't actually go to that because my day job deals with a lot of the same things, and I really didn't want to have to I suppose I didn't want to have to listen to her at the retreat, because I am exposed to people that she's trying to help during the week, and I thought, this is my retreat, so I won't go to it, so I didn't. But anyway, it's a good obviously it's a of course it's a charity, of course it's a good you know, good, what's the word? A good cause, that's right. Obviously it's a good cause, and it was no reflection on her about why I didn't go. It was all about me. But the first class that I did was a wool embroidery class, which would help if I actually showed you the wool embroidery, but I forgot it. If I remember, I will insert a photo somewhere so you can see how much I got through during the class. It was really enjoyable. To be honest, there was only one class that I wanted to do. Unfortunately, I got into that class, and so the other days I was happy to, whatever class I managed to get, I was happy with. So I don't even remember if that was my first choice, the wool embroidery, but still thoroughly enjoyed it. The teacher was good. My classmates were good, so it was a good class to go to. And then later on, so we had that. Then we had the presentation, and then we had a fashion show. So the fashion show was basically like a show and tell for Libby Johnson, and she has some beautiful, beautiful designs. I was asked to model before the retreat started, so of course I said yes, because like, whatever. If anybody's going to ask me to model, I'm going to say yes. And it's like, all right, Becca, I'm assuming I'm only modelling accessories. And that was the case. And so I tried on one of the, so I ended up buying the Maycroft shawl that she has, because I loved how it felt and I loved the size of it, because it was one of the projects, one of her patterns that I modelled. And then I also bought another pattern called the Koru pattern. And the Koru pattern, when I wore the hat, loved it, and so I bought it and I made it and finished it. So this is the Koru here, so Koru. And that's the design there. I just love it. And you just wear it to the side like that. And the yarn is Swish DK. Now she uses numbers for her yarn, so I'll link to all my projects just so you can see the colorway number. But I love how she does her dyeing. Just look at that colours. And so you'll see that there's plain stockinette as well as twisted stockinette. It's really cool. Just gives an added little texture. But this design, this was so easy and so quick to do. I haven't blocked this, but I've worn it a gazillion times, but I just loved it. And I will make another one of these as well. I'm into making things more than once lately. I don't know what it is, but so that was what I made from her. And I also got, for helping, I got a thank you, so I got a pattern as well as some yarn, but I'll show that to you later. So I'll just pop that there. And then Saturday was a class that I wanted. I got to do sari weaving with, oh my God, I've forgotten her name. Is it Prue? I can't remember, but so much fun. And tell you what, I see everybody doing their weaving, and I think weaving is my calling, but I want to do sari weaving because you can buy the warp already warped and you just slot it in and it's all done. But the prices are beyond what I can afford at the moment for the loom, but I'm thinking about it. Hopefully next year I'll put a few dollars in, and she has payment plans and that sort of stuff. So I am seriously thinking about it. Yeah, I'm seriously thinking about it. And then we must have had some other events that are, we had shopping. Yes, we had a marketplace, and then we had dinner, and it was, we got to sit down with some of the teachers, had a laugh, did some knitting. It was all great. And then on Sunday I did a drop spindling class with, I've forgotten everybody's names. Oh my God, I just spoke to her last week. No, my spin on things, but I forgot her name. Anyway, links. There will be links. And it was just fun to, like, I've done drop spindling before, so it obviously wasn't my first choice, but again, didn't mind. You can always learn. It doesn't matter what you think you know. I think there's always opportunity to learn something new, and it was just fun to spend time with people in the class anyway. So it's honestly, if we didn't have any classes and I just sat there for 3 days or 4 days and knit with everybody, I'd still be fine. Like seriously, I'd still be fine. But the food was great. The market was really good. The location is great, but obviously you don't stay there. You get your own accommodation, and which was, again, we got it through Airbnb. Thanks Kylie for organising, and that was fantastic. Managed to lock ourselves out. I think I was at fault for that, and so apologies, but we managed to a neighbour across the road managed to go in through the window and get us into the property. Yeah, so it was just a fantastic weekend. And you know, if you've ever been to a retreat, you know that you're just on this high, and you get to meet a whole bunch of other people that just have the same passion that you do about a hobby or a calling or whatever. It would be like if you went to some sort of hobby show or a Comic-Con, or like I know I've been to Star Trek conventions. It's just fun to be around people that like things like you do. So it's fantastic. So if you get an opportunity, if your budget allows it, try to attend a retreat near you. If you're in Australia, I mean, we had people from New Zealand and Queensland and Perth and New South Wales, and the retreats in Victoria. So there are people coming from all over Australia and New Zealand and Tassie. Did we have Tassie? Yeah, Tassie, and anyway, everywhere. So obviously their budget allowed it, but I would totally recommend it to anybody to see if they can go to either a knit in or a retreat near you. I was just like going, should I recommend the retreat? Because I don't want people to like get a ticket, and I won't be able to get a ticket for next year, but I couldn't do that to Karen. So try to get in next year if you can. So just on with some more finishes for now, and I'm going to try to go through these really quickly because basically they're mostly socks. Firstly, I'll do an item that isn't a pair of socks, and my sister, we went to the Bendigo Sheep and Wool Show, which is Australian Sheep and Wool Show, obviously in Bendigo, and we stayed overnight this time, which was just a better experience. And I think usually we drive up for the day and drive back, but I actually like staying overnight, so I think I'll be doing that for future years as well. And Natalie was coming shopping with us. Natalie loves licorice, and she was trying to encourage my sister to buy yarn wherever we went. My sister doesn't knit. She can knit, she doesn't knit. If we were at a makeup show, she would have filled 2 suitcases, but yeah, but she ended up buying a yarn. We managed to convince her. I don't know if I did or Natalie did, but Natalie happened to have the hat. This yarn was the yarn that I purchased in Fingering Weight last year, and I've been waiting to get my hands on the DK because she never had it at any of the shows that I saw her. So we both picked up dyed by hands yarns in the Mother's Love DK in the colourway Disco Fever. The yarn looks like this. There's not much left of it. And this is the hat I made. I made her a Ricky hat. So Natalie was wearing this hat, so I must have said I want exactly the same hat. So I made it. So this is a Ricky hat. It's made exactly like the to instructions, needles, everything, other than I knit every 13th stitch, and that goes all the way up just to give it a bit more character, because that's what Kylie was wearing. And I bought, like I said, I bought myself one too, a skein of this, so I'll be making it for myself. And so this is how it looks. I've made a Ricky hat before, and I really like it. It keeps you nice and warm. It's not too loose, it's not too tight, and yeah. So that's, and now I've just got a crap ton of socks. So hopefully I will remember all the yarns. I did take notes this time, so yeah. So these pair, all my heels are a Fish Lips Kiss heel unless I mention otherwise. I usually knit in 1.75mm just because I've got quite a loose yeah, my gauge is quite loose. I always increase just before I get to the heel because I've got a high arch, and so that I'm knitting extra when I'm doing the fish lips kiss heel. And I do toe up and usually do a Russian bind off. So the first pair of socks, this is from Manos del Uruguay in Alegria, and in the colourway Malvern. I call these my exploding tartar socks. So this must have been where I was last time I spoke to you guys, and I do them 2 at a time. And I don't have my sock blockers, but I call it the exploding tartars because it looks like the exploding tartars painting from the Van Gogh episode, as the guy goes. And then I did just a mock cable. I don't know if you can see that, but a mock cable, and I just thought that was timey-wimey. So I thought that worked out well. And yeah, so that's the first pair. And then the next pair I haven't got the other pair, I'm not sure where I put it, and all the insides have been woven in. These are my choose your, so this one was called my exploding tartar socks. This one's called my choose your own adventure socks, advent-euro socks. This I started in December, and I managed to finish it sometime in the last few months. So this is the colours, and I just use scraps, and I love them. They're longer than, oops, I got hiccups, longer than usual, and every time I did a colour change I just slipped a stitch just for some added detail, because you know it's not bright enough. So I did those, and obviously that's where I was the last time I spoke to you guys. The next pair I finished are my Luke and Lorelei socks. These are, the yarn is Lollipop Traditional in Blush. This yarn I got in a wool swap from the Foxes in Socks girls, and the heel and toes I did in Regia Bark Street. So just their 4-ply. So that's how they turned out. I've already made socks in these, but I wanted to use every bit of it for another pair of socks, because I don't know, for some reason the thinner, like the thick and thin, it actually looks really cool on. I don't know what it is, so I really liked it. Again, obviously 2 at a time. That's where I was the last time I spoke to you guys. So yeah, so I got my, like I said, I got my knitting mojo back with a vengeance. And then another pair of socks. I told you there was more than there was a few. I still haven't finished weaving in all the ends for this one, but that's why there's a needle up here. And I just do a few stitches if I'm going to a knit night, because we've got one at my local library every Thursdays, and I just do a few lines every time. So they are basically opposite one each other. These are my Melbourne Storm socks. It's looking a bit blue on camera, but it's actually a purple and a mustard, and they're obviously opposite. 2 at a time. Did I do fish lips kiss heel for these? Yes, I did. So these are a fish lips kiss heel as well. Love them. And the yarn is Miss Click Clack in 2 of her mini skeins. So they've got no name on them. Next pair of socks are my 000 socks. Started these, I think, back in December, and again, just recently finished them. The yarn is the Ho 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 Fab Funky Fibres self-striping in Ho Ho Ho, and the toes, heels and cuffs are one of her mini skeins. So that's the yarn there. Don't you just love it? Now, when I don't celebrate Christmas, so when I see red and green together, it doesn't even occur to me that it's Christmassy. When we were at Bendigo and we were shopping, I was showing some colours to Natalie, and she's going, oh, they're a bit Christmassy, but it just didn't come to my head that it would be Christmassy, because I don't celebrate Christmas, so it's really bizarre. I don't know how relevant that is, but anyway, so I made another pair of socks, and I just knit from the inside and outside of the ball so that they're opposites. The striping goes opposite. That's the last pair of socks are my You're a Wizard Harry socks. These are, again, same old traditional stuff. You guys haven't seen these on the needles. I actually put these on the needles when we were at the retreat. And so this is what I knit on. I took other stuff, but I knew that I wasn't going to knit anything that I have to think about. So I started these and basically then continued on after the retreat. So the yarn itself is Knit Picks Felici in Wizard. The heels, toes and cuffs are Skeined Top Drawer in Damask. And I think the colours worked out well. And then just because it's just not bright enough and all that sort of stuff, I striped the damask with the self-striping as well. Again, pulled from I think I did these opposites, did I? No, I didn't do these opposites because I had 2 balls. That's right, I had 2 balls, so. But they're done and the ends are all woven in too, which is exciting. And quickly, just 2 other ones. I've got, like I said, I've got some other stuff, but they're in the car, so you're not going to see them today. I don't know why they're in the car. Because I was wearing them. I just made some daggy old hand knits, hand warmers for myself. It was cold one day, I was freezing. Currently I've got no ducted heating and I was just freezing, so I wanted something on my hands. And it's been extremely cold this winter in Melbourne. So I just made 2 rectangles and then sewed them and just left the hole. You know, obviously I'm going to make them again, but I might make them a different way. And yeah, it's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to thumb gusset, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to have to think about it. I didn't want to have to open up a pattern. So I just used some leftover Yowza Water Skein in Berlin, and then the Skein Top Drawer Sock in Damask, and I just held that double because the Yowza Water Skein is like a light worsted DK type thing. One more item. I don't know if I've ever showed you that I was spinning stuff, and I'm just trying to pull out the turtle. Oh, looks like I've lost part of it, but it's just a small turtle from Turtle Made. Is it Turtle Made? But I bought them from Cat and Sparrow here in Australia. That's a bother. And I kept it in a bag. So the bag has a history. If you follow Crochet 1 Knit 2, or if you've seen me before, and you'll probably see some today, I've got a few bags from Crochet 1 Knit 2, and I happened to win a bag. So the bag I won was this bag. I haven't opened it up, but I will be using it. I love candy corn. I know it's feral, feral lollies, but I love candy corn. I think it's because you can't buy it in Australia. So love the fact that I won this from her Instagram account, and she sent some candy corn and she sent some other lollies. Oh my god, it was so good. She's from Canada, so do check her out. Her bags are awesomely reasonable, and I don't think she says that she ships international, but if you ask her, she probably will for you. But so I got that. But the thing is, I didn't receive it, and it was like 2 months later, and I said, I don't want to intrude or whatever, but I haven't received it. I just want to let you know that I haven't received it. And she just wrote back saying, well, I'll send you another bag. That was extremely generous of her. So I received this bag. After I received this one, or maybe a day before, or I don't know, this one came. I feel awful, but I love her bags. And obviously because candy corn, you guys ain't going to get your hand on it. But so that's what I keep my spinning in, and this is my spinning. And I did on my my spinning isn't the best, but I tried doing a chain ply for the first time, and that was fun to do. And this is just 25 grams of some roll eggs from a dyer who doesn't produce anymore. So, but that was fun to do. And that is my only my only participation in the Tour de Fleece. So yeah, because I'm so organised. But oh my god, have you guys seen the mini electric eel spinner? Like the really small one. It's like this big. It's so cute. I'm hoping to get my hands on one of those. I thought it'll just be nice as a starter thing, because I do want an electric spinner, and I know that little chichi one is no reflection of any big electric spinner that I buy, but I just want it because basically the price of a decent drop spindle. So, oh my god, I've got to get it. Hercules, Hercules. Okay, whips. You'll be happy to know there aren't too many whips. The first one is in a sticky stitch bag. It's one of my bags. And these are just a pair of socks that I cast on 1.75mm needles. The yarn is something. It's in German, but basically I think it loosely translates. Oh, hang on. Do I have the papers? No. Basically, I think translates to something like the flying saucer. I'm using the inside and outside of a ball. The yarn actually comes double-stranded, but that was at a time when I didn't do socks 2 at a time. So I could have just knit straight off, but obviously then I didn't, and I tried to make them into a ball and yada yada yada. Anyway, I've only got 35 grams of it. I have no idea where the rest of it is, but that's enough for a pair of socks. And it's actually designed to pull. So that's how they look there, and that's the other side as well. And I'm enjoying it. The yarn feels really nice. I think that they'll be quite a sturdy sock. Yeah, so that's where I'm going to show you is the Under the Mistletoe socks held in my the Fat Squirrel sock bag. It's got cute little Red Riding Hoods. I've got a thing about Red Riding Hood. Yeah, so I actually am not doing these 2 at a time because I cast these on 2 years ago, and it was a lace pattern sock by Wendy B. Johnson. Nothing wrong with the pattern, but I just couldn't bother looking at the pattern, so I ripped it out. Basically ripped, I think, down to about here where I started the pattern, and took it all out and started knitting again. So these are the first pair. I did these in 2.25mm, I think, or a 2mm. The yarn is slightly thicker. The yarn is from Juliana's Fibre, in a self-striping sock called Under the Mistletoe. And yeah, so I did these with the Fleagle heel, which is a fantastic heel for those of you who do toe-up socks, but find that the a short row heel doesn't work for you. So it's a gusseted sock, and it's so easy to do, and I just love it. So that's the first pair. Who knows when I'll start the second pair? I'm just being honest. That's why I do 2 at a time, because second sock syndrome. It's like, finish the first one. What do we don't need to show that. And the other non-sock item today, I do have a top that I'm knitting, but I seem to have misplaced it. This again I cast on March last year, so just keeping it in my field supply bag in the grey. This is my Mad Eye Moody shawl. The pattern is the Eyeball Shawl by Stephen West, and I've changed. I haven't changed the pattern, but I've changed the colours in the sense that I can never say the word, sclera, and I'm usually good with that sort of stuff, but I can't pronounce that one. Basically all this blue part here should be white, and I chose to do it a smaller white because I did less of the, did I do less of the pupil? I can't remember, but I did less of the iris, and then I did the white. So I think these 2 sections should be all the iris. But because what I wanted to do was to make the colours like the evil eye. So I'm currently on the brioche. I have no idea if I'm doing the brioche correctly. Sometimes I find I haven't done something that I'm supposed to. I just fudge it, because basically the 2 colours that I'm brioching are black and a dark blue, so I'm hoping they just hide the errors. So this was the yarn. So I ran out of, so this yarn here is Ink by Madtosh, and it's a single ply. So this was the yarn that we got at the retreat, and this one's called Ink Well, and it's by Oyster Yarns. It was close enough, and actually it looks the same here, even though the Oyster Yarns one is slightly lighter and the composition is differently because it's got yak and I think silk in it as well. So nice. I've got 2 skeins from last year that I haven't knit yet, but anyway, so I've started on the brioche. Hopefully by September, I'm not going to push myself, I'll finish the brioche and I can cast off finally. Only taken 18 months. Okay, so that's all my whips, and now I'm going to go on to some stash enhancement. Now, I hadn't bought any yarn since towards probably the second half of December. I can't exactly remember, to early May, so when the retreat happened. So this is the purchases. So I saved up money every week for purchasing at the yarn retreat, the May market, and at the Bendigo retreat. So these were, whilst they weren't planned purchases, they were within budget. But if any of this makes you uncomfortable, feel free to click off and I'll see you next time. But I've got some really good goodies, so continue to watch. It's fun watching other people spend money. I enjoy it as much as spending money myself. Anyway, I'm going to try to group these in what I purchased at each event. Firstly, the yarn that I won, the yarn that I was given as part of the thank you for doing the modelling, was this yarn from Saltwater Yarns. And I've seen Saltwater Yarns at my local yarn store at Unwind Craft Cafe, so it was really nice to get it. And this one is a fingering 80/20 nylon merino, and the colourway is Sea Urchin. So it's beautiful, and the pattern that I was given with it is called Rattan by Libby Johnson, and I think it's going to be perfect for that. It's just really nice purpley colour. So thanks again to Karen and Libby. I really appreciate it. Had fun with the whole fashion parade thing. It's the only time I'm ever going to be one. Anyway, now at the retreat there, they have like a treasure hunt, sort of you have to answer all these questions, and then she just draws out and people win stuff. And there was a lot of stuff for people to win, and my name happened to be drawn out and I won. I'm just trying to find where those other items are. So I got some of these stitch stoppers, which are awesome. I've never seen these. I don't know where I've been. So I've got some of these stitch stoppers, and I sort of peeked in the bags. and I got these because they had the bags all lined up and you just choose a bag. And got these Adagio Mills 8-ply, and a pattern as well, which again, it's got a code on it, but I'll when I knit it, and I'll probably knit it in this, I'll show you. But it's so soft. But now I want like a darker brown in this. We'll see. I'm just throwing them there while I'm showing it to you. Look, I didn't buy a huge amount. I personally don't think I bought a huge amount. I just bought another Tandy in the white, because I've got some other Tandy Polworth in the 4-ply, and I want to make a shawl out of it, a dotted raise, but I needed the white, and I thought I'll get the white, I'll have plenty left over, and what I'll do is I'll just use it, I'll either dye it or do something with it. So just got some Tandy Polworth, and quite reasonable price, and you get 150 grams, which is pretty cool. And then I got 2 50-gram skeins from by Bryony. Now, you guys might be familiar with Bryony. She used to be Gradient Oz, and now she is called by Bryony. So I bought 2 50-gram skeins, one called Bittersweet, and the other one called Plum. And again, with the white, I think they'll make I can make a nice colourwork hat. So I got those. Now, I forgot to buy one thing from the Pearl Box, but I did get these. And so the Pearl Box is an internet, internet only, and they obviously sell at various markets as well. Now, the Woolly Reader she made a Birkin, and I loved the colours that she chose for her colour work. So the main colour was a natural brown, and then she used these for her Birkin, so I just had to buy them. And I just love them. So these are the Jamieson and Smith 2-ply jumper. So what I'm thinking of doing, I've got the Birkin pattern, but I'm thinking of doing a Birkin hat. Let's see. We've got all these plans, you know, who knows? I probably won't use these until 2030 or something. I don't know. So there they go. And then the other item I got from By Bryony is from Patrinkles. I got just a gauge thingy, and I got some stitch markers, and what we did was all 4 of us ended up buying stitch markers, and then we just swapped them around, so we each had one of the other things. So I've got a hat and a jumper and socks and knits. I think I've got socks. Yeah, socks and knits. They're so cute. But I don't know if you can see them. So there's socks, hat, the jumper. They're really cool. So now we all have like a little thing of each of us. So I really, really like that, and I really need to put that into that bag that I got. And I also got a full skein of yarn from We Love Knitting. As soon as I saw this, I had to buy it. I've got a feeling it's called Journey, because the name's not on here. And I bought a matching for toes. I'm going to make socks out of these, so I'm going to have a ball winding party soon and wind all these up, because my aim is that all the yarn that I purchased over the last few months, I want them to be my starts, my yarn starts. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. And lastly, I got some yarn from Arrow Dye Works. She sells on Etsy. She was one of my housemates, the lovely Kylie. And yeah, so she dyed up some mini skeins, and she said, what do you want? And she had a real bright one that had chartreuse in there. But I took these instead, because I'm going, well, I always do that, and I really, you know, this is the person I want to become. So I took these two because I'm a hog. So there should be 50 grams there. So check out her Etsy site, Arrow Dye Works. Thanks, Kylie. So that's all I got from, well, some of it was for free from the retreat. And then at the May market, I didn't spend much money. I bought this, and this is because Heather Maid had posted on Instagram that they had this yarn. It's called Speckled Granny, and of course, because it's lime, I had to buy it. And I said to myself, well, if they've got it, I'm going to buy it, and I did. And this mark was only a week after, I think, basically after the retreat, so I thought I'd need to be a bit controlled. And the other yarn I bought is from Cat and Sparrow. Yep, Cat and Sparrow Fibres, and the, what's that called? It's called the Delight Sock. It's got some silk in it, and the colourway is Saturday Night Fever. So this is basically like a purple version of this, and it's in fingering weight. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with these. I've been told that I shouldn't make socks because it's merino and silk. I want to make socks, but I might make a sock head out of this. But, you know, something else might come and lure me to make this. So this one is going to sit here for a while and ferment in the stash until I can work out what I want. Store, my LYS, it's the Unwind. If you're not familiar with it, it's the Unwind Yarn Cafe, Unwind Craft Cafe. I should know that, shouldn't I? But I like going there because they have great Devonshire teas, and they've got poffages, and they have really nice scones. It's about 10 minutes away from my house, and yeah, so I usually go there on a Saturday to have a coffee, or every second Saturday, and do some knitting. And there was a yarn dye there that I'd never seen before called Passion Flower, so I bought some yarn. Always like to support the locals, so I bought 3 skeins of the same colour, and this is called, it's in her gumboot sock, and it's called To the Fudge Room, and it's 80/20. So I really like the colourway. It's browns and greens, and I'm thinking of doing a fade or the Timely cardigan. I'm thinking of doing the Timely cardigan from Libby Johnson or a fade type cardigan. So with some browns and greens. With that, I also got 2 of her mini skeins because I love the colours. One of these is called Snozberry and one of them is called Gumball. I can't remember which is which, but they were cute, so I had to buy them. Cafe also sells Red and Ollie. They sell spun right round, but they have a fantastic selection of Bendigo woolen mills as well, which I love because you get to see the colours before you buy them. But I ended up buying some greens. Again, I'm thinking about like being part of a fade. Obviously there's going to be some colours in between, and maybe might end up with a brown. So I've got lots of greens, browns in my collection. So I bought this, and this one is a Red and Ollie, what do they call it? It's an 85-15 nylon merino, and the colourway is eucalypt. And then I also bought the mini. I actually had bought the mini before I bought the large one, so that's why I have 2. But they'll both be useful. Then I put an order, my only online order for, I don't know, I want to say a year, but who knows? Probably lying. With Happy Go Knitting. Now, I met her, oh my God, I've forgotten her name too, at the Wool Retreat, and I saw that she had this cool clasp for your shawls, and I loved it, so I had to get one. So it's from Jewel Designs, and it's Happy Go Knitty on Etsy, and it's just this cool clasp. So you screw them in, so if you've got your shawl like that, and it just looks, you just look cool. It's just cool. So I bought one of those, and I bought it in the truffle. There's black, or there's this sort of brown colour, and I got the brown one, and then I just picked up I'm on this coral kick, and rather than trying to dye my own coral, I keep on buying different corals. So I just got a mini skein of her Pohotukawa, I hope I've pronounced that right, in her Miraki base. So it's been blown out, but yeah, so I bought those. And then I went to the Soulcraft Festival. I'm not sure what to say about the Soulcraft Festival. I only went for the one day, and to be honest, I wasn't going to buy any ticket. I wasn't buying a ticket, but my Knitty housemates from the retreat were going, and FOMO, I had to buy a ticket myself. The structure was interesting. Yeah, so I didn't go to any classes. I went to 2 talks. One was Andrea Murray, I remembered her name, and the other lady was, I think, from Grainline Studios, like sewing stuff. And yeah, so it had different things like sewing, knitting, crochet, whatever, clothes making. But basically, I just sat there and knit and spoke and met with various different people, and I just got joy out of doing that. So, and I bought some yarn from there, but again, not too many. I bought this yarn because it's one of my, you know how you've got all these brands, you might, I don't know if you're like me, but you think, I really think I just want one skein of that brand. I just want to get my hands on it. And for me, it was Ching Fibre. This is definitely not the colour that I was always after, because I'm sure the colour that I wanted was a berry one, but she didn't have it. But this is Narwhal, and I love that. Obviously, it's got lime in it, it's got purple in it, so I had to buy it. It's the single ply base. I have no idea what the name is, and even though I have, she calls it singles, I wear glasses when I'm not wearing contacts, and my eyesight is crap, whether I wear contacts or glasses. So I bought that for the sake of just having it in my stash. And I'm thinking of doing the ricochet shawl, but if you guys have any other ideas for a one skein project for singles, let me know. And then from Happy Go Nitty, I bought some more yarn because I like the base that she has. And I think this might be called Sunny Day. So it's not a colour that I normally go for, but I want some brighter socks, and I just got a matching coral with that as well. That goes there. And then I was at Ren and Ollie, and I wasn't going to buy any yarn, but then I saw another lady who I didn't know then, and she bought this yarn, and I said, what's that one called? And I got the other skein, but I kept on looking at her one, and I turned into a 12-year-old going, I like your one. Mind you, I've paid for it, and she's paid for it. I like your one better. And beautiful her, drove her in class her on Instagram, gave it to, we swapped yarn. She's going, I don't care. So I got this colour, which is like a mustardy lime, pukey, baby poo, and it's called Absinthe, and I just love it. And yeah, we said that we would cast on socks together. So ball winding party, and I will do this one. I will wind this up so we can knit that together. Can't wait. Oh, it's going to look so cool. I just love it. The colour's beautiful. I think I want this in DK now. Look, I think I want a whole cardigan in this colour. Not that I knit cardigans, but anyway. And lastly, I just bought a bag. I can't remember her name. I will link her in the either description bar or on Ravelry. I saw this, she had the pattern for it, and I've done, sashiko seems to be a big thing, but I remember doing sashiko like 15 years ago because I was heavily into Japanese stuff, and so I bought this bag from her rather than buying the kit, because I could have a lot of kits, including sashiko kits that I haven't completed, and I suppose we can call them vintage now. And then I saw this, and she was selling them, but she said, just have that, and I just like it, so I'm going to make another bag with one day when I finish some of my sashiko. And this is not called sashiko though, it's called something else when you do this to it, and I can't remember the term. Again, brain. Look, it's probably around 10 o'clock now, and my brain is mush anyway. I've got a lot of energy, but my brain is mush. Okay, and then like I said, I went to the Bendigo, or the Australian Sheep and Wool show. Loved it, enjoyed it more than I ever have, purely because we stayed there. Well, the first night we drove up on Friday night, and we stayed in Castlemaine because I couldn't get a hotel spot, because I originally had just booked one night on the Saturday, but then at the last minute I decided to book on the Friday as well, and obviously everywhere in Bendigo was sold out, so booked in Castlemaine at a cute little hotel, which was a heritage listed building, and again I can't remember the name. Anyway, so caught up with the girls on Friday night. First of all, we went to a knit-in with that I think Give Me a Crown had organised. It was so lovely to finally meet her. I wish I could have just sat with her and spoke to her all night, because, you know, we always, you know, she's just cool. I've got some of her bags. I just like her. I like how the types of stuff that she knits. She's just awesome. So if you haven't seen her, she's got an Etsy store, Give Me a Crown. She's Give Me a Crown on Instagram, Give Me a Crown on Ravelry, and Give Me a Crown on the YouTubes. And she was giving away, how generous of her, some needle cozies. So I chose the watermelons because they're watermelon. And look, it's eaten. It's so cool. So thank you so much, Nina. You're awesome. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Can't believe I'm so excited, but yeah, just really, really generous of her. But I wish we could have seen, you know, anyway, I wish I could have seen her around. And after that, with the girls, we went and had some dinner at a Turkish restaurant. And I have to say, I had some manta, but according to the waitress there, she called it, oh, we don't have that. And I go, and I showed it to her. She goes, oh, manti. And yeah, manta. It's pronounced manta. But anyway, she kept on correcting us. And even though I'm saying it with the correct pronunciation, but anyway, it was very cute of her. Anyway, so the food was fantastic. It's on the main drag next to the Bendigo Bank. Next to Bendigo Bank. It's pretty big. and I felt that the munta was quite authentic. It almost, as I said to my mum, it's almost as good as yours. And so it was good to catch up with the girls, have a bit of a chin wag, and then we went home, and then we came back the next day and went to the Bendigo show. So I only ended up going on the Saturday because, quite honestly, I'll probably just, if I went all 3 days to the show, I'd probably just go way over my budget and that sort of stuff. I did manage to see a live sheep again this year. I usually don't. Like, I think last year was the first time I saw a sheep. At lunchtime, we were having a gözleme, and I'm just sitting there and I'm just staring at this guy, and I'm going, why is this familiar? And I'm looking at the sign because I have problems with face recognition and stuff, and I'm just going, oh my God, that's Richie. That's my friend's husband. They've got a winery and in Heathcote called Condi Estate. So if you like reds, check them out. Condi Estate. And so I got to say hello to him, and so it was just a really nice surprise because I was thinking of catching up with his wife, my friend Roseanne, the next day on the Sunday on the way home, but we just didn't get a chance because the stuff that we were getting up to on the Sunday. So, but yeah, it was just nice to see them. So I did a lot of shopping. We did go to the Bendigo Woolen Mills, and I got some sweater quantities because you're just in that frenzy. The first one I got is rustic. They're rustic 10 ply and 8 ply, sorry. And all the rustic had sold out, so I don't know how. Like, I didn't see these on the Saturday, and actually we took a quick visit on the Sunday. That's when I saw these, so they must have found some somewhere. So this is 200 grams, and so you get 400 yards, and I really like it. So I want to make a gingerbread jumper out of that one by Libby Johnson. And then I saw this in the bargain bin. Well, I didn't see it. Kylie saw it, and then because Kylie got it, I had to get it because FOMO. And this is 8 ply. It's called, just says recycled fibres mixed colour, and they're only $8 a ball, so feels nice. So I started a skyscraper cardigan from Nora Gorn, and I thought, and I actually am ripping that one out because I started another cardigan with that yarn. It didn't suit, but I think this will suit better for that design. So I just got those. Then the other sweater quantity I got was the Bendigo Woolen Mills Stella base in their malachite colourway, and it's an 8 ply, so it's like a tealy green, and it just glows. Like, it doesn't, I don't know if it glows here, but it just, there's just something about this shade that I just fell in love with. And Natalie had a jumper in this design, it just looks beautiful. So I'm hoping to probably make a vodka lemonade out of this one. So we'll see how we go. So we can just chuck that here and go to the next lot. And it was interesting because usually when I go to the Bendigo Woolen Mills, I'm really, really strict on myself. And this time, even though I was strict and I had a budget of just, I said to myself, look, if you want it, get it. And so there are a couple of items that I hadn't planned to buy. I bought some needles. I bought some beads from Fiberific. I bought some buttons from Fiberific as well. From Mosley yarns, I got the gauge ruler from Ann Budd. And again, somebody else saw this. I think Natalie or Kylie saw this and I had to buy it. So I did. And that's the thing. Usually when I go to these things, all I do is look at yarn. I don't know why. I don't see anything else. So, and that's why the only thing I did see is this, and I'll show you in a second. So I didn't see this. On the Friday, Natalie had purchased this and we all laughed at her. And then it ended up being my first purchase for the day on the Saturday. This is a wool ball and it's got soap inside and it's got felted wool on the outside. It smells like, oh, divinely of lavender. Oh, I'm just going to use it in a shower. And because we were laughing at her, but it's just like, I have to get one. And somebody was saying that she's buying it for a friend and her friend reckoned that lasted a year. Now, I don't know if it'll last a year, but cool idea. So I got that. And then, again, because Natalie made me, I bought this hand balm. And it's the rosemary and grapefruit hand balm. It just felt really nice on the skin, so I bought that. There you go. I had lavender one, and that was from Moseley Park as well, that one. The soap ball, I have no idea who it was from. And then from my creative garage, FOMO, who was it? It was Shara, because I saw Shara at the knitting as well. And I must have just looked straight at her and not said hello, but anyway, saw her there. I actually saw her at Soilcraft and we were chatting there as well. And anyway, she had this bag and it had pineapples on it. It's like, oh man, I want to be in the pineapple club. Anyway, there was no pineapples left, so I saw this one and I had to buy it. It's a beautifully made bag. This is, I think, the large. So it's got a handle. It's like, feels like it's padded, but it's just really nicely made. So there's no pockets inside, but I have no care factor about that sort of stuff. It's just drawstring. Love it. It's good for my vodka lemonade because the yarn will match. So I loved it, and it smells beautiful because I've been keeping the soap in there. Oh, I love it. And the other item, so these were some of the items that I just buy it. Well, I saw this and I just went crazy and I said, can I have it? I think I asked for the price. Now, I ask for the price of anything. If you see me and I ask you the price, please don't be offended. It's got nothing to do with me judging you about how much or how little you spend. You can buy your yarn from Spotlight. You can use Spotlight acrylic, or you can use the most expensive silk yarn that's ever made on earth. Have no care factor. But I've got this tick, I suppose, where I have to know the price of everything. Anyway, so I would have asked her the price, but I bought it regardless. Look, it's got nothing to do with sheep. It's a donkey. And the lady who made this, she designs all, like, it's all her own design. And she had like cute koalas and sheep and bulls, and just wondering if I have her name here because she was cool. No, have no idea. I thought I got her card and I thought I actually put it in here, but I'm quite disappointed because I would have loved to have given her name out. No, but yeah, I just saw that, and I'm gonna weatherproof it because it's white. You know, just with that shoe stuff, fabrics, whatever. But oh, how often do you get to see a donkey? It's so cute. Look at the haircut. Oh, it's gorgeous. Just gorgeous, darling. It's just gorgeous. And then, well, I don't know why I'm saying and then. It's not as if I'm showing any of this in order. And then I bought some fibre. I'm almost finished. Like, seriously, like I'm almost finished. I bought some fibre from Ayshxo Yarns, and Ayshxo Yarns and Fibre, and this is her Galaxy. I think she calls it Galaxy. I definitely know, and it says Galaxy on there, so I shouldn't say I think. It's 70% merino, 30% nylon, but it's also got stellina in there as well. But I think it's rainbow nylon. So I got these two colours. I think they will go well together. It's some sort of stripey something, and they're really good. Price was $8.50 for 100 grams. Bargain! You can even put an F word in front of the bargain. So I love those. I hear crinkles and I wonder what they are. I bought a silk hanky from Cat and Sparrow Fibres because I want to try doing I want to try spinning a sock blanket. I mean, not sock blanket, a silk hanky. So I decided to get that, and I'll probably just use that in some sort of embroidery. And then I got my hands. I went to Dyed by Hand Yarns, and it just happened to be that she had it. I didn't see anybody else who stocked it. I wanted to get a colourway that supported the tits out. Was it? If I want exposure, I'll get my tits out. Collective thing that Countess of Blaze has organised. So a whole bunch of dyes. Got long story, but some of the money is going to whoever is dyeing yarn inspired by the original colourway. Is going to some sort of charity of the yarn dyer's choice. So I happened to see Dyed by Hand had this, and so I got her big blue stocking base, which is 600 meters of 150 grams of 4-ply, 100% BFL, and so her colourway is called Much Ado About Knockers. I got it for the whole, is the word sentiment, or the whole idea behind it, or the reason behind it. I also bought this as, this was, I suppose, an impulse purchase from Great Southern Yarn. It's their 8-ply DK, and it's just red, and you don't often get to see red, like a really good red like this one. And no number, it's 100% SRS Merino, 100% Australian single origin, it's not superwash, it's ethically and sustainably produced, and it's spun at Adagio Mills. So had to get that, had to. This is my yarn from Dyed by Hand Fibres in the Mother's DK in the Disco Fever. I've been looking at this yarn at 3 different, I saw it at the Wool Retreat, I saw it at the May Market, I saw it at Soulcraft. I didn't buy it at all 3, and then Yarn Fumes. This is by Great Ocean Road Woolen Mill, and this is the La Bella base in Salt and Pepper Aran weight. It's merino alpaca, 145 meters per 100 grams. It's so soft and it feels, some people might find this a bit itchy, but I like it. I like it a lot. And it's, none of this is, it's just all natural fibre colour. It's not dyed in any way. So that's cool. And then it's almost done. I bought this from Jan at my Spin on Things, and the colourway is Janet, so sorry I should say. I don't think she's got a colourway for this one, but it's bamboo, merino and silk. And again, this is the person I want to be. And I'm going to make Mother of Dragons by Laura Smoot with this. Like it a lot. And then I went to Swish Yarns because I swore that I was going to buy from her again. I don't know why she's not as popular as, you know, some other Australian dyers. She doesn't have much of an internet presence. I think that's part of the reason. But I just love how she dyes, and she does what looks to me like a lot of over dyeing, and I just love the effects she gets. So I bought these 3. I think I'm going to do the Melbourne wrap by Janet Noop. No. I think I'm going to do the Melbourne wrap by Shelley Husband, and I'll show that in a second. But I had no plans for these when I purchased them, but I knew that because I was thinking of fade colours, all that sort of stuff. I just thought these 3 are cool, and they go together, I think, anyway. So they don't have any colourway names on them. But it is 100% merino wool in the fingering. Love it. And like I said, I bought some needles, blah, 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 blah. And I bought a book. I usually don't buy books. I have like the cast on cast off book, the bind off book that everybody's got. I have a Stitch dictionary, which is it's okay, it was cheap. I think I bought another book because it was like $5 at one of those book. Oh yeah, it's called a bookstore. And so I bought this one because I liked some of her designs in it. I got the US Terms edition because whilst I learnt crochet from my mum, she didn't teach me any of the stitch names. Like I knew what a chain was, but the double trebles, you know, the this and the that, blah, 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 I don't know any of those. So the first patterns I ever tried were US patterns, and so I got the US Terms book. This is by Shelley Husband. This is the Granny Square Flare. She just released this book, and of course, you know, she was there, and she's such a nice person, and we've been conversing through Instagram about Darren, my new boyfriend. If you haven't met Darren, please go on Instagram and you'll meet him. And anyway, so this is the Melbourne wrap. That's the wrap there. So it's crochet, and I really like it, so I might team it up with some other neutral. Like I want, not neutral, but I want the the shawl to be tonal like this one. Like, I don't want pops of colour, even though Stephen West would be very unhappy. But the book itself is just beautifully written. I have to actually read it because, you know, she's got you know, she goes through the basic stuff about tools, some of her crochet tips, you know, joining colours and what, you know, how things look in different colours. What else does she do? You know, she talks about, you know, the standard stuff, and so she's got you get all these granny square patterns, and then she uses those patterns within the with some of the projects. And how many? There's 11 projects, so there's 50 crochet square patterns and 11 projects, and the projects include, is there a page where it just, I can't remember with all the pictures yet. There it is. So these are the projects in it. So you've got the Melbourne wrap, you've got some blankets, some pot holder and stuff like that, a scarf, a cowl. I want to do the cowl too. And she did the cowl in this one. She did in the Eva yarn that I was talking about. So that's a cowl there. It actually looks really good in that yellow too. But yeah, she's such a lovely person. She's spin cushions on Ravelry. She's got a Facebook group. She's got spin cushions on YouTube as well. Like, she does it live, but I only ever see her on the tube because I'm at work, unfortunately. But I suppose, you know, it pays for all of this. So that's pretty much all it is. Hopefully this is not going to be too long. It is now really late on Tuesday. Hopefully I'll get this up by Thursday, I'm hoping. And I promise that it won't be long before I see you again, because Scrappy September is starting. Well, it usually starts around August sometime, and it's technically August tomorrow, but we'll start it the next time I see you. Yeah. So did you guys go to the retreat? Did you go to the Bendigo Wool Fair? Did you go to Soulcraft? Did you go to the main market at Coburg Town Hall? Let me know. Have you gone to Unwind Craft Cafe? What are your favourite retreats or knit-ins? You know, put them down below or put them in the Ravelry group so that other people can see them. And if you've